Evening everybody, or hello depending on where you are in the world, because it might not be evening for you. So welcome to this week's live stream guitar lesson. So this week we will be continuing with GuitarQuest 3, working through some of the material from that, going back over a couple of bits and pieces as well, and yeah, just getting set really. So if you are watching this on a device that has notifications pinging away, then please do turn those off, or emails, things like that, so we get our undivided half an hour guitar time. And if there's any children watching, then I'd suggest there's just an adult in the room just to help sort of guide them through any ideas that we're talking about that they may find tricky. We have the chat function as well, so if you've got any questions, please do fire away and I will either answer them as we go or save them to the end. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's start by checking our tuning. So we're going to start with the top E. So again, just make sure you adjust the pegs so they sound the same as this. I'm just adjusting my position slightly. So yeah, here's our top E. And then our B. And then G. And then our D. And then A. And then finally our bottom E string. Okay, cool. So hopefully the strings are all in tune. So if not, I have got another separate video. But yeah, just try and adjust them as best you can. So yeah, other things to watch out for then. Try not to let that guitar slide away as we're playing. So we don't want it to kind of angle like that. Again, if I just come around to the side, so we want to keep it nice and upright. Rather than that, it just means you've got to work a bit harder to fret the notes and things. However, I do appreciate it does make it easier in a way because you can see what you're doing. So just try and find that balance as you work your way through. Another thing to think about as well is with your right hand, try not to allow the wrist to collapse down too much. So we don't really, if I hang in there, so we don't really want it flat like that. We want to be a little bit more up. Just to kind of have that sort of angle. Again, like everyone's going to be different, depends how tall you are and how long your arms are and that kind of thing as to quite where that's going to sit, but just as that sort of guide, it's just not flat, just up a little bit. And then one other thing that's worth mentioning is, because we're getting into the realm of playing two notes at the same time now, and we'll come on to that shortly. But one thing you want to watch out for as you're playing two notes together is, say for example we're going to play the top E and the bottom E, so 6th string and the 1st string, we don't want to play them and have our hand ping away from the strings too much. So really that movement wants to be as small as possible. Because if we think about it, if we play and the hand moves away like that, and I've seen people do this quite a lot, you know, the hand just sort of pings off and, you know, could be like a foot away from the guitar by the end of it. That's a long distance for your hand to have to come back for playing the next note. And so the further you've got to travel, the more chance there is of landing on the wrong string or hitting the wrong note or whatever. So if we can keep those movements, so the movement's quite small, then that's just going to mean that, you know, our thumb or our fingers are going to be close to the strings that we want to be playing next, and therefore hopefully our accuracy will go up as well. So that's the theory. It's one of those things, very easy to say do that, and it's perhaps less easy to put into practice. So just, you know, if you notice your hand pings away after you played a couple of notes at the same time, just see if you can bring it back in a little bit really. That's kind of just something to keep an eye on for yourselves really. So let's move on then. So number 23 was going to be our warm-up this week. So this is Milonga. So we've got we've got a B flat to think about in our key signature, and other than that it's fairly self-explanatory I think at this stage, because we've been over this a few times now. So if you're unsure about this one, then please do just go back and check out the videos, the lessons over the last couple of weeks, where I go over it in more detail. The only bit I would just bring your attention to would be bar 6. We're playing the B flat, and then after the B flat we're going to go for the note D. And so rather than using the third finger twice, we're going to use the pinky finger to get the D on the second string, third fret. And that just means we can get a little bit more fluidity to our playing, rather than doing that and using the third finger twice, where we get that little break in the sound as the finger moves across the strings. So we just want to try and avoid that if we can. But yeah, let's give it a go. So we'll take it away from the top. Watch out for the DC fine instruction as well. Starting on the note A after 4. Here we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4. So watching out for that dotted crotchet rhythm. His pinky finger. Onto the third line. Back to the beginning. Second line. Okay, and that's where we're going to finish up. So yeah, good stuff. Hopefully that went well. As we mentioned, we've been over that in previous lessons. So obviously if you feel you need to go back over and refresh it, then check out the last couple of weeks, and that should give you all the information you need. If it was a bit fast, but you know, like you feel like you can play it, it's just a little bit quick that time, then when the video gets uploaded back onto my YouTube channel, you can just come back on, find it, and just slow it down a little bit, you know, 3/4 speed or whatever, and play along that way. So it's all good. So we can take advantage of all the technology that's available to us, which is pretty amazing, really. So okay, so we are going to move on. So we're going to have a quick go at number 24. So this is the strumming pattern we talked about, possibly the world's most common strumming pattern. It's very common anyway, so whether it's the most popular or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's so. If I just talk you through it, we'll play it on an E minor, and we're going to go so down, down, up, down. So it's 1, 2, and nothing on 3, and then up on the and after 3, down on 4. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Down, down, up, down. Okay, you can strum with the thumb, you can strum with the index finger. Try not to use all 4 fingers. You'll probably get, you won't get very clean contact typically, so that's something to watch out for. It can be done at times, and to really good effect as well, but you want to be doing that very intentionally rather than, you know, at early doors we want to be just keeping it nice and simple, really. So, okay. So we're going to start just with an E minor. We'll go at a slowish pace. We'll pick up the tempo as we go. Over the last couple of weeks we've done this and taken our time to speed up, so we'll probably just speed that process up a little bit quicker today. Okay, a question has come through. How do you make the kick sounds? Are you actually kicking? So I am just tapping my left foot, so it's probably not very clear. You might be able to see just sort of my thigh just moving a little bit. So yeah, I'm only doing that just to help keep the timing, give people a sense of where we're at in the bar and that kind of thing. If you're new to guitar playing, I wouldn't worry too much about tapping the foot. There's usually enough to be thinking about without doing that. But if you're confident, you're very welcome to do it. So, okay, so let's try it. So we'll start nice and slow, and I say we just increase the tempo, okay? So here we go. Remember, actually, one other final thing. On beat 3, sometimes I'll say the word ghost, as in we're ghosting past the strings without striking them. That just helps just to maintain that timing, because it's quite easy to not get the hand in the right position after that first up strum. So we need to do an up and then get back in position to do another up. So that's the thing to watch out for with this. Okay, E minor then, here we go. After 4, so 3, 4, so it's down, down, up, ghost, up, down, 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 up, ghost, up, down, or 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, a bit quicker. That's that pattern. As I've mentioned before, you know, it's just if you've got a song with 4 beats in the bar and only 1 chord in that bar, as in you haven't got like 2 chords changing more. Sorry, tie myself in knots here. But if you've got 2 chords in the bar or more than 2 chords, that pattern may not work. It may do, it may not. But it just works well. It injects a lot of energy, and so whatever song you're playing, as long as it fits that kind of criteria, it will probably bring it to life. So one thing I was going to suggest to try this week, because this is actually the last one before we have a break for a few weeks over the summer, is just to pick any of the chords we've covered so far in GuitarQuest and apply that strumming pattern and just start stringing them together. So for example, if the chords we've covered, we've done E minor, E major, A minor, A major, D major, D minor, C and G. I think they're the ones we've covered. I don't think we've covered any others. You can pretty much just pick any of those and just put them one after another. So for example, if we started on G rather than E minor, so G, go to D, C, A minor, and then back to G, just repeat, you know, so you just pick 4 chords and just start trying to just bring them together really. You know, and that's often how people write songs. It's just a case of like come up with a chord progression, something that you think sounds nice, and someone else goes, "Oh, that sounds cool. Let me do this with it," and you know, and you go from there. So just try and be creative, really. And if you do have a go, feel free to record yourself creating these strum patterns and put them on YouTube. Tag me in it. Let me know. It'd be really interesting to see how you're getting on. So cool. Okay, so that's that. We're going to move on to number 25, the Grand Gardener. So this one, yeah. So this one we're doing the 2 fingers at the same, or thumb and one of the fingers at the same time, playing 2 notes together. So this is where you just want to watch out for that pinging motion. Just try and keep that hand nice and steady. And and yeah, avoid that because your chance of hitting a wrong note afterwards are going to be a little bit higher. So just seeing another question, when are we going advanced into these lessons? So just to give a bit of an insight, these lessons are kind of beginner lessons really. So we started like with just how do you play a couple of notes and worked our way through to where we're at, and we're just going to keep going. So it's a gradual progression from absolute beginner to wherever we end up. Probably, you know, by the time we get to the end of the fourth book, we'd be around about grade 3 or 4 level, something like that. So that's where we're heading at the moment, and then we see where we go beyond that. So, but yeah, let's have a go at number 25. We'll see if we can play it together. The Grand Gardener. Watch out for the rowl in the last couple of bars as well. Let's see how we go. So we're in 3/4 time. There's no sharps or flats. No sharps or flats to be mindful of, so we just kind of get stuck into it really. So here we go, after 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Last line. I'm going to slow up a little bit here. Okay, cool. So that's the Grand Gardener. Again, we went over this in more detail last week. So if you want to get stuck into that, or you found that you can quite keep up with it or whatever, then please do revisit last week's lesson. Just check that out. As obviously we just worked our way through it. It's also this tune is in GuitarQuest 2, but only the melody. So this time we're taking that same melody and adding the bass notes. So it's just giving us that little bit more to be thinking about. So so yeah, I've just seen another reply to that previous question about going advanced, and just saying we're making I think it says sturdy progress. Don't know if you mean study or sturdy. Anyway, we're making steady progress. That's kind of the goal, is to kind of go from here to here, and also partly so that when you know, there's thousands, probably millions of guitar tuition videos on YouTube. So by the time we finish this course, hopefully when you go and watch some of those other ones, you'll be able to make sense of everything that's going on, and you know, you'll know the notes, you'll understand the chords, you'll understand what they're getting at, and you just have that very solid foundation. That's kind of what I'm aiming for with this course, really. So cool. Okay, so let's continue. Let's obviously, if you've got any questions on 25, do fire away in the chat section. But otherwise, we're going to turn the page and go on to number 26. Called Fading Star. So this particular one, I don't think notes wise this is particularly challenging. You know, it's a reasonable challenge. If you found the Grand Gardener okay, you'll probably be all right with this one. But the extra challenge with this, as I posted a video about it during the week actually, is we just want to try and add a little bit more subtlety to our playing. So rather than just starting at the beginning and working our way through to the end and job done kind of thing, if you notice, in fact if I bring the music up onto the screen, hopefully we can see that. So at the end of most lines, we've got this rowl here. So that's our slow down. So what we do is we start here, we play at a normal speed, and then we just slow down a little bit at the end of that line rather. And then our tempo, back to a normal tempo, and you go normal speed, and then you slow down a little bit, back to normal, slow down a bit, back to normal, slow down a bit, and so on. So we have this kind of sort of ebb and flow kind of effect going on throughout. Oh, actually, there's one other thing I just need to bring to your attention. So some of you may have seen these things before. That little symbol there, so above the E there, that's a fermata. So as it says here, it's a pause or a pause on the note, or you just hold that note slightly longer than you might otherwise expect to. So it doesn't have to be too precise. Everybody's going to do it slightly differently, so you just have to. We'll play it together and you'll obviously try and copy what I'm doing, but when you're practicing it on your own, quite how you interpret that is going to be over to you, obviously. And it's just about what feels right. So, one person might hold it a bit longer than another, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all, as long as it feels like it's going the right way. So, okay, so in terms of the song itself, obviously we start at the beginning, we work our way through to the end of that first page where we've got the repeat mark. Then we go back to the beginning, play the first two lines again, and then we jump over to page 21, and then we continue on from there through to the end. And watch out for bars 9 and 10, they get repeated as well. So that's another little thing to keep an eye out for. Other than that, I'll just start playing through it, talking through a few ideas, and then we'll try it together in just a second. So we start with the G on the first string, so I'm going to go with the third finger, play that with the bottom E, and then we're changing, or just alternating with the B, the open B string. Come down to an F sharp here, E, D, E there. So I should have mentioned there's an F sharp and a C sharp throughout in our key signature. So you've got G, G, F sharp, E, D, and then as we come to here in the second bar, we've got open E, G, open B, open G, sixth string, third and second. Okay, and on those last three notes, we're going to start slowing up. So it should sound something like this. Something along those lines, okay? And another thing you might want to do with this kind of music as well is try and get those high notes. You know, if you were listening to the tune, if you're going to whistle that tune, what would you whistle? And those notes that you might whistle, we want to try and make them stand out a little bit. So, for example, the high G's there, that kind of melody, we maybe want that just to sit a little bit louder. So as we come into the second bar, maybe overall those notes, because they're just kind of filling the space with, there's no melody going on at that point. So we can maybe go a little bit quieter on those as well. Again, this is sort of, like we mentioned about, it's adding a little bit more subtlety to what you're doing, and this may be too much, maybe not. You just got to give it a go. But that's kind of one of the things you want to try and bring into our playing, particularly when you're playing a piece of music like this. If you're playing more of a rock kind of thing, it's probably less relevant because there'll be too much other stuff going on. But a nice solo piece like this, we can definitely incorporate that. So let's try the first two lines together, because I think they're the same anyway. So yeah, here we go. After 4. Okay, so 3, 4. Slow down a little bit here. I'm going to come back to normal tempo. Again, slow down a little bit here. And then as we come to the next line, our bass note changes to A, which is our open 5th string. I suggested that we get the G this time with our pinky finger, and then we can get the C sharp, the second note there, with our second finger. You could go third and second, that would be okay. What you might find if you go with the third finger is that it doesn't stretch up to that side of the fret very easily, and you might be more there, so you don't get quite as clean a contact, hence going with the pinky finger. So my recommendation, we go pinky, but if you're comfortable with the third finger, that should be okay as well, really. So okay, so this is our second line, so same kind of ideas. Sorry, second line, third line, sorry. And we slow up a little bit there. And notice as well, actually, I held my middle finger down on that C sharp for that whole of bar 5. And again, it just allows that note to ring in a little bit. It does fade out anyway, but it's while it's there, it's just adding that nice little harmony to what's going on. And we can then, because as we finish there at the end of bar 5, we can keep it held down, and it's in the right place for bar 6 then. And then the final line of that page, it's just the same thing again. So let's try lines 3 and 4 together. Okay, so after 4. Okay, so 4 and slow down a little bit here. Then the last line. And slow down a bit again. And then from there we go back to the beginning. So let's try that first page together and see how we go. We'll go a little bit faster than how we played it just then, actually. But yeah, okay, after 4 then, good luck, here we go. Okay, so 3, 4. Slowing down a little bit. Back to normal. Again, slowing down a little bit. Then we're going to go back to normal speeds. Slowing down a little bit. Last line. Go back and play the first 2 lines again. And slowing down a little bit. Back to normal speeds. Okay, and then we would jump from there over to the next page. I should mention where we slowed down, we've actually got a diminuendo as well, so we get a little bit quieter. So again, that's just another thing we can do to try and bring this subtlety into our playing. So, okay, so bar 9 then, we're going to go for the bass note B, so it's 5th string 2nd fret, and we're going to also put our 3rd finger on the A, 3rd string 2nd fret. So you've got B, A, B, A, B, A, B, and the next one, move that 3rd finger over to the C sharp with an open G, and then back to the B and the A again, over to the C sharp and the G, and then this next bit, same as the beginning. You slow down a little bit here. And then here, go back to normal speed, and then we're going to start slowing just a little bit earlier. And then here with a fermato, we can just sort of even be a little bit, well, just it's not late, but it can feel a bit late because we're just really allowing that to stretch out at that point. So, okay, So we're nearly out of time, but let's try that second page together and see how we go. So after 4, so from bar 9, here we go. Okay, so 3, 4. Over to the C sharp and the G. Back to the B and the A. C sharp and G. Then the second line on that page. Slow up a little bit here. Back to normal speeds. And then start slowing up again. And then we just finish on that bottom E. So, right. That is the whole tune. So I'm going to bring the music up on the screen and put the backing track on so you can have a listen to how it came out when I recorded it. So yeah, here we go. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, jolly good. So that was Fading Star from GuitarQuest 3. There's not really much of a backing track on that, it's just me playing it. So you can either try and play along with it or just play it yourself. As I said, when you have that sort of subtlety going on, like the speeding up and slowing down and the volumes going up and down and things like that, you know, how one person plays it, how another person plays it, it's going to be slightly different. So you just got to try and do your best with it and try and own it. You know, when you've got the notes down and you feel you can do it, just try and put as much expression into it as you can. That's really kind of one of the key things with playing generally. It's you know, something I was actually kind of remind myself of. You know, it's kind of like the heart that you can put into it. So you can play a piece of music and it's a piece of music, it sounds fine, but if you can put a bit of heart into it, then you'll just convey that little bit extra emotion and people will relate to it more. At least that's what I'm thinking about music at the moment anyway. So yeah, hopefully that makes some sort of sense anyway. So yeah, just a couple of comments there, just saying that sounds beautiful, although a bit more challenging. So yeah, maybe that's a good one then to finish on. Bear in mind we've got a few weeks off now over the summer, so yeah, so that sort of concludes it quite nicely, I think, really. So things to think about. So as I said, we're going to take a few weeks off now, so I'll be back. Next one actually is going to be 18th of September, so it's about 6 weeks time. So things to work on, I would suggest you, almost as a bit of a warm-up, you go back to number 24 and that chord strumming, you know, that rhythm there. And as we talked about earlier in the lesson today, just try and string a few chords together. So E minors, G, Ds, A minors, Cs, whatever. And just try and be creative. Try and come up with some ideas that you think sound good, really. So that's a good thing to do as a bit of a warm up, and then I just keep going with numbers 25 and 26 and try and work on those. And with number 25, the Grand Gardener, I didn't really put much in terms of like slowing down and dynamics and things like that. But if you're feeling confident with it, just try and add some in yourself and see what you come up with. And again, if you do it, please, if you're comfortable, film yourself and put it on YouTube and tag me in it. It'd be really interesting to hear people's interpretations of what's written in the book, really. So cool. So that pretty much wraps it up. So yeah, a warm up, that strumming pattern with a variety of chords, numbers 25 and 26. We'll reconvene on the 18th of September. So if you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up. Thanks as well for all the comments that have come through. I do appreciate that. If you feel confident, record yourself, tag me in it. It'd be good to see how you're getting on. Otherwise, have a wonderful few weeks, and we will reconvene again on the 18th of September. So best of luck with all the practice, and I will see you again soon. Okay, take care everybody. Bye bye.